What is going on, you guys? I am Z, and I'm going to be giving you guys an overview of Monday Night Raw, kind of my favorite segments of the show in the chronological order that they were in. So let's get this underway. I did do this for SmackDown Live last week. That will be in a link in the description below, so go check that out, please. Now, Kurt Angle opened up the show. He was addressing the Raw locker room, and the entire Raw locker room was standing on the ramp, and he was just basically apologizing for allowing Shane McMahon in and that opening the door to him bringing in his SmackDown guys and them, doing what they did to Raw when they completely destroyed the entire Raw locker room. And while he was doing this, none other than the annoying what chants continued to make their presence loud. All you could hear was what after Kurt Angle. I really do not know why they keep on doing this. Honestly, the what chant should have been gone when Steve Austin left, and I don't know why they had to chant what at Kurt Angle. That was just something that kind of got on my nerve. You have Kurt fucking Angle in that ring. Why do you have to chant what at him? Come on. At least chant you suck. And as Kurt Angle was doing his apology, we got the return that we were all waiting for. The return that everybody tuned in to see tonight, and that is none other than Stephanie McMahon, the commissioner of Monday Night Raw, made her return. She completely decimated Kurt Angle. I mean, she just completely, utterly just was not saying she was not happy with the 25 years that it took to build Raw to what it was, to, in a matter of 20 seconds, just completely destroy it after what SmackDown and Shane McMahon did. And she was not happy with Kurt Angle. And Stephanie McMahon announces that the team captain of Raw, it's not Roman Reigns. It's not Roman. But Kurt Angle, she says, she names Kurt Angle as the captain of Raw. She wants results. She wants domination. She wants Raw to win. And if Raw does not win, she threatened Kurt Angle to fire him. This is interesting to me because Stephanie McMahon is married to Triple H. Triple H and Kurt Angle had some great moments back in the day. Maybe this leads to a match between the two. Maybe at WrestleMania. Maybe at the Royal Rumble. Who knows? But Stephanie McMahon is back. Who knows if it's just for this week or if she's going to continue to make her presence known. And maybe who knows if Triple H will make an appearance. And the main event player of Raw, The Miz, arrives. I love The Miz, so any segment he's in is going to be included in this video because The Miz is awesome. Now Kurt Angle lets The Miz know that he missed Stephanie McMahon and that Stephanie named him the captain of Team Raw, which completely angers The Miz. And Kurt Angle was not going to let himself, and I don't know what's wrong with general managers calling The Miz a coward. First it was Daniel Bryan, and now it was Kurt Angle calling The Miz a coward, and he makes The Miz put his Intercontinental Championship on the line later that night against a surprised opponent. Up next, we had Alicia Fox taking on Bayley, or at least we thought we were going to see Alicia Fox taking on Bayley, but Alicia, this was a little cringeworthy, but it was great. It was Alicia Fox coming out with her captain hat on, basically telling Bayley that she had captain duties to do and that she did not have time for that match, and she introduced a replacement opponent, and it was another return. And that return was none other than Nia Jax, who, after speculation that she had, taken a leave of absence from WWE, makes her return here to Raw, and she beats Bayley. Picked up the 1-2-3 victory over the former Raw Women's Champion. And after the match, Alicia Fox names Nia Jax as the next member of the women's team for Raw. And up next was personally my favorite moment of the show, because this guy is my favorite wrestler on Monday Night Raw and possibly in the WWE. And the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe, makes his return to Monday Night Raw after what seemed like an eternity since SummerSlam. He was out with the knee injury. He finally made his return tonight, and I was completely stoked when his theme song hit, and all you can hear in the background was Joe, 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 Joe. It was amazing. His promo was even more amazing. And he cuts an amazing promo where he goes, "Judging by that reaction, you guys are happy to see me." Huge pop. And he completely shuts them down right afterwards. And he goes, "Well, I'm not happy to see you guys." And the crowd just, boo. And then we had Apollo Crews as the sacrificial lamb for Samoa Joe's return. Samoa Joe he's awesome. He is just awesome. If you guys are gonna know by the end of this video that I love Samoa Joe. And probably my favorite part of the match, probably of Raw, was when Samoa Joe was in the corner and Apollo Crews ran up to him, and he got him for that Uranagi that he does on the corner, and he goes, "Sit your ass down, boy," as he slams him to the mat. And Samoa Joe obviously picked up the victory by destroying Apollo Crews. He got him in the Coquina clutch, and Crews was out. And immediately after the match, Titus O'Neil thought it was a good idea to front Joe. Joe put him to sleep as well. Samoa Joe, welcome back. I love you, man. You're the best. You should be Universal Champion. We had The Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against a surprise opponent. I thought it was going to be Roman Reigns. I read a post somewhere on Instagram that it was going to be Roman Reigns. So I was thinking Roman Reigns. It was not Roman Reigns. It was none other than Matt Hardy. This match showcased just how great The Miz is. If we didn't know The Miz was great, it showed how great of a performer he is. It showed how great of a performer Matt Hardy is. It was a pretty great match when I thought Hardy was going to win the belt, because I thought maybe because of that angle earlier with Kurt that they want The Miz as a member of Team Raw. So I was thinking maybe Hardy was going to take that belt, and they were going to have he was going to have a nice little run and maybe develop into that broken persona. I really thought Hardy was going to take it, especially after the moonsault he did, which was, for his age to be doing that moonsault, it was just amazing to see. Also, the twist of faith. We thought it was 1, 2, 3. The Miz kicks out, and he would ultimately hit him with the skull-crushing finale to get the victory and retain his title. It was a great showing by both. It showed why both are at the top of their game. It shows that why both have been a mainstay for so long. It was just an awesome match between two great performers. Now I'm going to include this segment in here because Alexa Bliss said this little line which kind of rubbed some people on Twitter the wrong way. I loved it, but she had a segment with Kurt Angle where she says that to make the Raw Women's Division good, they should cut some of the dead weight, and that dead weight being Mickie James, saying that they should replace her with somebody from the Mae Young Classic, and she says, or they could just dig up Mae Young and replace her herself. I know I laughed for a good minute straight. I thought that line was funny. A lot of people on Twitter didn't find that little Mae Young joke amusing, but I thought it was hilarious. I laughed. I don't think Kurt found it funny either, because he made her put her title on the line in the main event against none other than Mickie James, who was getting her rematch from TLC. Big spot for the ladies. Main event of Monday Night Raw. And now that was Kurt Angle moments before he looked to his left and saw none other than Daniel Bryan, the SmackDown general manager at Raw. Kurt freaks out, calls security. It was pretty hilarious, honestly. He pulls on Michael Scott. He grabs his walk-in, just starts saying, "It's happening, it's happening, it's happening," to, get everybody ready for the siege. But Daniel wasn't there to siege. Daniel was just there to tell Kurt how he did not agree with what Shane McMahon was said. Kurt wasn't buying it. Basically tells Daniel Bryan to stay there, because if he goes out there, Kurt wasn't buying it. He tells Daniel to stay in his office, because if he goes out there on Raw, the Raw roster is gonna, beat him up a little bit. Now, as Daniel Bryan waits at his office, the lights go out. I was thinking it was Bray Wyatt. I don't know what you guys were thinking. I thought it was gonna be Bray Wyatt, but it turned out to be Kane, who grabs him by the throat, and we couldn't see because the camera went out, but if it's what we think we saw, he choke slammed him. Does that count as a match for Daniel Bryan? Does that mean I know he technically didn't take the choke slam, but come on, this is wrestling. It's kayfabe. He took a choke slam, okay? I know he didn't take the choke slam, but kayfabe, he took the choke slam. Hey, one small step for man, one giant leap for Daniel Bryan wrestling in 2018 when his contract ends in September. So yeah, Kane chokeslams Daniel Bryan, and things just got a whole lot interesting with that invasion angle. Just got a whole lot interesting. Now, I mentioned earlier Samoa Joe is probably my favorite wrestler on the Raw roster. Finn Balor, which is probably my second favorite on the Raw roster. Yeah, he's my second favorite. Took on Cesaro. It was a nice little contest between the Swiss Superman and the leader of Balor Club, Finn Balor. Finn ended up taking up the victory after a coup de grace he was kind of like kneeling down, not exactly on the floor. It was kind of the back of his neck, which I don't know if that's a new variation that they're going to do, or if Cesaro just messed up. I don't think Cesaro messed up because he's one of the best. So yeah, Finn ended up picking up the victory, and he was attacked by Kane afterwards. I know they want to build Kane to look strong for when he goes against Braun Strowman, but why does it have to be at the expense of Finn Balor? If everything I'm reading on social media, Finn Balor is supposed to be next in line for Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, why is Kane beating up Finn Balor? Kane does not need to look strong to go against Braun Strowman. He's Kane. He's Kane. You don't need to make him look strong. And we had Kane taking on Seth Rollins, a nice little back and forth between the two. The bar comes out and they take out Dean Ambrose, which prompted Seth Rollins to springboard over and take the bar out, which ultimately led to Kane choke slamming Seth and picking him up for the 1-2-3. Kane beating Seth Rollins because why not? I mean, I don't think Kane should be beating Balor and Rollins. That's just me, but I guess, since the bar interfered, it wasn't exactly going over clean, but I personally do not feel that you need to make Kane look strong against Rollins and Balor. Kane himself is strong. That character, Kane, makes him look strong. Like, you don't have to have him beating, Rollins and Balor. Kane versus Braun should be a pretty neat feud coming up. Earlier, Kane chokeslammed Daniel Bryan, and it shows Daniel Bryan being taken out on a stretcher. It's going to be real interesting to see what Shane McMahon's response is going to be to that, and see how SmackDown retaliates to their general manager being taken out by Kane, because SmackDown Live didn't touch Kurt Angle. I mean, they kind of like dragged him out like they were going to take him to meet his maker, but they didn't. They left him unharmed. And here we have Kane taking out Daniel Bryan, and Daniel being taken out on a stretcher. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks before Survivor Series, that's for sure. I said, because The Miz is awesome, I'm going to include every segment that he's in. And here, him with his Miz Taraj celebrating that victory over Matt Hardy. They're going to have a nice, something about lobsters. They open up their locker room. And what do they find? A bag of garbage. Garbage truck. Braun Strowman was put into a garbage truck by The Miz, Kane, and The Bar. Miz knows it's Braun Strowman. Miz freaks out. I would be scared too. I walk with Elias. Look, I love Elias. That's all I'm going to say. I love Elias. He's great. He's a heat magnet. He's awesome in the ring. And I was thoroughly enjoying his song about taking out Jason Jordan with that guitar shot. and the segment was absolutely completely ruined by Jason Jordan coming out and basically destroying Elias Sampson's guitar, which I did not enjoy. Look, I think Jason Jordan's great. Right now, he's in that Apollo Crews territory where he's great in the ring, can hold his own in the ring, but his no character, no persona right now. Like, what is Jason Jordan? Oh, I'm gonna include every Miz segment here. Miz goes over to Kane and tells him what's up with Strowman. Kane says, "You're on your own, Miz." He goes over to the bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. Cesaro tells the same thing, "You're on your own." Miz and the Miztourage, they're getting the hell out of there. They're not gonna find out how that garbage bag got there. But before they could leave, they get stopped by Kurt Angle, who forces them to go back and stay for the remainder of the show. And last but not least, Mickie James trying to become a 7-time women's champion against Alexa Bliss in the main event of Monday Night Raw. And the crowd sucked. Screw that crowd. I heard a CM Punk chant. Why you gotta chant CM Punk? Why? Like, I love CM Punk as much as the next guy, but why you gotta chant CM Punk during Mickie fucking James versus Alexa Bliss for the women's champion? The match was fine. You know, it might not have been the high-flying, you know, greatest match you've ever seen, but it was a fine match. I enjoyed the match. I didn't enjoy the ending because I really did think that they were going to give Mickie James one last run at the title, but when they did that little segment with Kurt telling The Miz to stay, I kind of figured if they're going to put the belt on Mickie James, you know, she's going to close it out with her celebration. And, you know, that's not what happened. Alexa Bliss ended up taking the victory on... She kind of just slapped Mickie James, and Mickie, like, fell. I did not like the way the match ended. You know, I thought I would have been happy with Alexa hitting her with a DDT and winning, but just like a slap, really? I was not a fan of it. And while Alexa Bliss was celebrating her victory over Mickie James, they cut to The Miz, who, him, Bo, Axel, they're getting the hell out of there. Raw is over, and they get to their limousine, and what's in front of their limousine? A garbage truck. And like a phoenix rising from the ashes, in this case, rising from all that garbage, Braun Strowman makes his return to Monday Night Raw after being compacted into that garbage can. Now, Raw is just better when you have Braun Strowman running around destroying everybody. He goes after The Miz and his Miztourage, and he ultimately gets his hands on Bo, he gets his hands on Axel, and more importantly, he gets his hands on The Miz, and he's just throwing them around. And it was not a good night for Curtis Axel. I think Braun kind of power slammed him about 5 times, and he brought him out to the ring, and he didn't power slam The Miz through the table, so he power slams Curtis Axel through the table. And like I said, Raw is just better with Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe. Jax, Braun Strowman, and my personal favorite, because he is my favorite, I am biased like that, Samoa Joe, finally making his return. The last time we saw him was SummerSlam, and it's great to have Joe back, and hopefully he gets into that Universal title picture soon. I would love to see it, but I love Joe. Alright, if you made it through this video, thank you guys so much for doing it. I do appreciate it. If you did like it, drop a like. I'm Z, and I'll be doing this tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. We'll see what happens, how they respond to what happened with Daniel Bryan. It's going to be real interesting. And again, hope you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Peace.